the impact of junior doctors on the healthcare system, you know that is bad news. So what exactly is causing that? And for those of you and I, salaried workers, even when you get paid at the end of the month, how long does that take you? How are you able to survive? Or even when you are getting, how much more people who are not getting to draw their salary for month? And so on the show tonight, what exactly is the problem? What could be the problem? Why are we recruiting people and not thinking about them? Does any minister's salary delay for 10 months, 1 year, 6 months? Does it ever happen? And if it happens, are there no other perks that they use to fill the void? On Ghana Connect, right after these messages.
Momo. It has made life happen in lots of good ways.
Mr. Kwanzaa, Mr. Insurance claim no. That's it.
It has put together beautiful weddings. It has filled the bellies of boys at their favorite watchy joint.
My guy, stop. Who they chop cancel these days?
It has made millions of businesses possible.
Mr. Kalono, we are back in business.
With few taps, money moves faster and safer. Momo understands the weight of your trust in us. We continuously enhance security with features like self-paying reset to help you protect your money. Momo will only call you with 0244 300,000. No MTN or Momo staff will call or ask for your PIN or one-time password. Do not transfer funds to anyone whose identity you have not verified. Do not approve any prompts you have not initiated. Momo, still Nsaka.
Son, we are so proud of you for setting up this hospital. I really love those hospital beds and waiting chairs. By the way, did you import them?
No, Dad, I didn't. I actually got them from Kindle Books and Stationery in Ghana.
Wow. We also bought our office safes, executive desks and chairs from Kingdom, and they gave us expert advice on how to set up our office.
Guys, that makes 3 of us. I also got and bedroom sets, plus our dining hall furniture for our new home from Kingdom.
Wow, Mom, that makes 4 of us. I usually get my stationery items from Kingdom, and my teacher also mentioned that our classroom furniture was provided by Kingdom.
So there you have it. Whenever you're thinking about setting up an office or acquiring furniture for your home, etc., Kingdom Books and Stationery should be your first port of call. With over 40 years experience in the industry, we stock and supply a wide variety of globally sourced office and home furniture, stationery and equipment. Visit our head office, Takweje, Osu near the Osu Cemetery, Temania Community 4, Takoradi opposite Vijay Mays Plaza, Cape Coast University Bookshop, Spintex Road near Absa Bank, Atomic Center Point Mall, Winneba University Campus, KNUST, the University Bookshop, and Santasi in Kumasi. You can also visit our shop online, www.kingdomstoreonline.com. Hurry while stock lasts. For further inquiries, contact us on 050-162-0810 or 0302-764-101. Email info@kingdomgh.com. Kingdom Books and Stationery Limited, where quality and affordability is assured. Terms and conditions apply.
At Star Oil, we believe fuel is not just a commodity, it is a lifeline. Every cedi saved at the pump is a cedi that helps a mother send her child to school. A farmer transports food to the market, or a young entrepreneur deliver their first order. Our mission is to make fuel more accessible by offering consistently competitive prices, helping ease the financial burden on Ghanaian households. In a country where transportation costs can consume nearly a third of household income, this is not just business. It's a social responsibility. Star Oil, still quality and affordable fuels for all.
Are you clapping? Are you giving God the glory?
Hallelujah! Every day you wake up shouting, my business is not moving. Customers are not coming. But look, my brother, my sister, who are you deceiving? Have you smiled today? Do you have the confidence to smile? Your face alone is chasing people away. Yeah! We all know that the problem is not a spiritual problem. The problem is a dental problem.
She was sick.
Use Pepsodent charcoal toothpaste to remove yellow.
Somebody shout amen.
Craft your smile with Pepsodent charcoal. It removes stains and whitens teeth. This advert is FDA approved.
Luck is everywhere. For
winning season is back. But this time, I am collecting the wins like jollof at a wedding. The luckiest season 3 is here. Your chance to flip your luck or maybe your bank account too.
2 easy ways to join. Dial *712#. Hit 1 to buy for you or 2 to gift a friend. Feeling lucky? Pick 1 for a random number or hit 2 to choose your own. Pay with mobile money. Done. You're in.
Or go to the luckiestafrica.com, click community tickets, choose your number or let the system do so for you. You can buy a ticket for your boo or your favorite barber. Pay with Momo or card if you are abroad.
1 ticket could turn your 1 Ghana cedi into 500 times more. And the whole community could win 10 times over.
Dial *712# or log on.
Let's get lucky together because luck is everywhere.
Every mosquito standing run away. Sasso, mi se come tonton preko. Sasso, kum tonton preko. Na ni sham ne die e demonstranko.
This advert is FDA approved.
Welcome back to Ghana Connect. It's a big conversation about unpaid public sector workers. A lot of young people getting recruited by the government to work in essential services. They just don't get paid. Perhaps because someone somewhere doesn't think it's important for these young people to draw down on these salaries and feed their families.
We are expected to go back to the classrooms to teach. We know it is our responsibility as teachers to go out there to teach. Where do we sleep? Where do we put our heads? The mattress we lie on, we even bought it on credit. Our creditors are after us. Ghana, the whole world, speak for us. The injustice is too much.
Pay us now. Enough is enough. Is it a crime to be a nurse in Ghana? Nurses deserve better.
We are dying of hunger. We can't pay our medical bills. We are dying. Pay us now.
We are not machines. In fact, we are suffering the little resources that we have to go to work. And as of now, we are not getting paid for.
Who are going through the same ordeal. The truth of the matter is that we inherited 13,500 of you being recruited without any financial provision. Now, out of the 13,500 people, more than 7,000 to 8,000 of them have been processed and they are receiving salaries.
A few days ago, some of your colleagues in the education sector came here with a similar petition. The message I give them is what I'm giving to you, that your issue is being addressed. We appreciate the work that you do for Ghana.
I'm doing all this just for the minister to tell me that he appreciates the work that I'm doing. Appreciation, babe. I don't understand. Which form of appreciation? I'm tired. That is enough.
Pay us now! Pay us now! Pay us now!
Yes. And so the message went, pay us now. And you see, you listen in this mashup, you hear teachers, nurses, and young doctors have joined the fray. Pretty, not so long ago, it was registered pharmacists, young people who had done so much and they were also not getting paid. So we have really interesting minds connecting with us on this very important matter that touched a lot of young people and families across the country. Stephen Kwadwo Techia is convener of Coalition of Unpaid Nurses and Midwives. Stephen, it's good to have you connect with us.
Thank you, sir. It's good to have you here today.
Great. And then Eugene Zoranu is convener of the newly posted staff of the Ghana Education Service. Eugene, it's good to have you connect with us.
Thank you so much, and I appreciate the opportunity given me.
Sechi Brown Reginald is a pharmacist. He's been on this show a couple of times, and he's chairperson of all young pharmacists in Ghana, also known as the Early Career Pharmaceutical Group. Sechi Brown Reginald, it's good to have you connect with us.
Kwaku, it's always a pleasure to have you, and good evening to my colleagues.
Brilliant. And then pretty soon, we will also be joined by Dr. Louise Nkrumah, President of the Junior Doctors Association, and then Dr. Sami Aye, he is with Presidency Communications. So let me start with you, Eugene. How long have you and your colleagues been working without anything? And why were you still going? And what were you being told that kept you going?
All right, so thank you so much, and a very good evening once again to yourself and your cherished listeners, and to my colleague panelists also on the show. In fact, we were recruited somewhere last year. I represent two groups. One of the group, which is the university graduate teachers, of which I happen to be their national organizer. And then I again represent the colleges of education teachers also. Now, both of us were recruited by the government of Ghana, not NDC, not MPP. I want to state this emphatically, not NDC, not MPP, but recruited by the government of Ghana in the previous year, 2024, with financial clearance from the Ministry of Finance, led by the previous finance minister. Now, we were posted from the colleges, we were posted in the month of August last year, 2024. For we, the university graduates, we were posted in the month of November 8, 2024, respectively. And, you know, with GES, its documentation and processes would take some months. So for the university graduates, after November 8, when we receive our appointment, before you finish with all your processes, it would have reached in the month of December. So most of us assume work in the month of January and then later part of December. Now, according to the code of conduct of the Ghana Education Service, when one vacates duty for 2 good weeks or 21 days or 20 days, that person no longer deserves to be called a worker in the Ghana Education Service. That has been the code of conduct that has bound us, because we signed an agreement at our regional levels, or a letter, that we would be guided by the code of conduct of the Ghana Education Service, which implies that we need not to leave the work post without any permission or authorization by our service director. Now, you would baffle, or you asked earlier, that what has kept us going for over 14 months now for those of us from the College of Education, and for 10 good months now for we those in the university graduates. Now, we've had series of engagements and picketing at the Ghana Education Service, which have yielded no result. Now, we had several engagements with the Ghana Education Service and the Ministry of Education, and the last one we had was with them was in the month of August, on the 21st of August, and from the Director General, Professor Davis, and Honorable Haruna Idrisu, they assured we, the leadership of the teacher unions, or these aggrieved unions, that they have done everything that they need to do humanly possible as far as our documentations are concerned for us to receive our salaries. And it was only left to the finance minister, who was supposed to reactivate our expired clearance on 31st of December. My brother, it baffles me and any other meaningful Ghanaian listening to me that would it take 14 months, would it take 10 months? Let's assume Honorable Atufosin came into office in January. Would it take him up to this month to just reactivate clearance? This is when we want them to understand that they shouldn't politicize our issues because we are equally Ghanaians. We have been working diligently, recruited through a legal means, through the system that we were supposed to be used. We didn't pass through any back door. We were recruited through GES portal and we were granted our appointments to work as Ghanaians, tax who are willing to contribute towards the tax of this country for it to develop. Thank you.
Right, interesting. Stephen, I want to know, do you have a similar story? What's your story?
All right, thank you very much for the opportunity, and a very good evening to everyone listening to the show. So we have a similar story to the colleague teachers, but we got a financial clearance somewhere in 2024 in July. That was when our mother ministry, who is now our employer, the Minister of Health, brought a statement to the public that it has collaborated with the Minister of Finance to secure a total number of 15,200 financial clearances. And these clearances were for nurses and midwives who completed the various nursing training colleges and various universities in the year 2020, did their mandatory national service, and were at home waiting for postings. So aftermath of the release of that statement, the Ministry of Health brought another statement indicating that it has opened the recruitment portal. So all these categories of nurses and midwives who have the financial clearance can log onto the portal, create their account, fill their details, subsequent postings. We did the same thing as directed by the ministry. So it was in October, November 2024 that we started receiving calls and text messages from the various health facilities and various healthcare agencies around the country. And we were asked to report because the Minister of Health had posted us there to go and start work. We went, we assumed duty, we did all the necessary documentation, all necessary paperwork, we filled our IPPD forms, some got our appointment letters, assumption of duty. We had virtually everything, staff ID. So most of our colleagues started work in December 2024, and the remaining started work in January 2025. We knew it would take a little time for them to process our information onto the system for us to be enrolled onto the government payroll, so we exercised patience. It was in April 2025 that most of our colleagues got the message that they have been processed, and we were a total of 13,500 recruited out of the 15,200 clearances that were issued. So out of that, about 6,500 got their pay or their salaries in April 2025. The following month, that was May, additional about 500 got their salaries, totaling 700 members, meaning we still had 6,500 more yet to do with their salaries. We waited patiently, but then as time progressed, we didn't get any feedback from the ministry, neither did financial clearance expiry. But our mother ministry told us it has written to the Minister of Finance to extend the clearance for us. So we followed up to the Minister of Finance. Initially, the communication or the feedback we got was the government was undertaking a national payroll exercise to clear some goods names. So after the exercise, there might be payroll to continue. We continue to engage these ministries for that exercise, which the ministry told us now it is really completed a long time ago. We have been making a series of follow-ups with the ministries, trying to seek clarification as to why so we are not being enrolled on the payroll. These two ministries are not willing to give us the exact reason behind we not being enrolled on the payroll.
Interesting.
We initially had a press conference that was in August 18th, where we issued an ultimatum to the government that if by September we do not hear anything from the government, then the government is definitely going to hear from us. So we didn't hear any positive vibe or any positive communique from the government. It was last week, 23rd of September, that we had a demonstration in the Northern Regional Capital, Tamale, where we submitted a petition to the North Regional Minister to extend it to the President. From there, we were waiting. These ministries, our mother ministry, Minister of Health, called us for an engagement. we thought they were going to resolve our issue for everything to work on smoothly. But during those engagements, the ministries were rather pleading with us to exercise patience. We are going to settle it.
Exercise patience, they keep telling you. Stephen, really interesting story. Please hold it there for me. And we have Samia here, is with the presidency communications. He will probably give us some answers pretty shortly. He's also a medical doctor. Samia, please hold it there for me. I'll come to you in a minute. But let me hear from you, Reginald. How acceptable? Pharmacists just went through this, teachers, nurses. It's everywhere in the public sector. It's almost like it's normalized. You get a job. I'm just reading on X the process a young teacher has to go through before they can get paid. Months as they keep going to work with nothing inside.
Yes, so thank you so much, Kwaku. It's rather unfortunate that whenever I happen to join your show, it's in relation to issues pertaining to young Ghanaians. I remember the last time we had a similar conversation, it was in relation to the delay in payment of the salaries, which was due 321 young pharmacists. Just to give a bit of context, these young pharmacists had worked for close to 2 years, they had not been paid. Some of them had gone for loans, some had gone, were still relying on their parents. And of course, as you saw the anguish, the sentimental outpouring of the young nurse in white yesterday, I mean, it was a very, that is the status quo of many young health professionals across the country. This comes on the back of a situation where Kwaku, the Ministry of Health some time ago developed what it calls the staffing norms, which specifically tells the government or stipulates or directs the ministry and the various health sectors specifically what kind of health staff to have in place. So pharmacists, assuming you are at the polyclinic level, at the district level, at the tertiary level. So in that case, you are looking at places like Kolebu, you are looking like places like Konfanochi, that is at the tertiary or the teaching hospital level. When you go to the district level as well, the number of health professionals you are supposed to have. There's a document, Kwaku, that clearly tells you the number of health professionals that are supposed to be at post. So this is not, all the agitations we are doing is not out of comfort, but it is anchored on the fact that there is a working document which clearly tells the government precisely what to do. What we have seen over the period is consistent nonchalance about how to plan workforce. And that was why, Kwaku, 3 years ago, we were on Joy to discuss the issue of our 2020-2021 year group. They also went through the same situation. The 2022 year batch, after 2 years, they were only paid just a few months ago when we had the call. As we speak now, Kwaku, we have 599 young pharmacists who have been at home for 10 months, 10 good months. And we have no idea when salvation is coming. So that is the situation we find ourselves in when it comes to the health workforce. But of course, we want to see a proactive government where, for instance, when it comes to pharmacists, it comes to the doctors, it comes to the nurses, and then the allied health professionals, the government can clearly say, this year, these are the gaps that we have in the system. We have a gap of, say, 5,000 pharmacists. We can do, say, 2,000 as of present. We can do 3,000 the next year and then help close the gap. But we are not seeing that. All we are seeing is that we have to hit the streets before. We have to threaten strike action. And when we are giving clearance, then we also have to wait sometimes for a year. And this is in a situation where we know our economic situation has never been good in this climate we find ourselves in. So as much as possible, we are effectively telling all young Ghanaians that, one, you cannot be loyal to country, because we have never seen politicians picketing the Controller and Accountant General or whoever pays currently that they have not been paid their salaries due them. And to the extent that, Kwaku, politicians or duty bearers sometimes even get ex gratia and they make these decisions behind closed doors. If you look at the monies that is due the health workers, especially the young health workers, these are sincerely pocket change compared to what is paid our duty bearers who are the top echelons. So that is the current reality we find ourselves in. So yes, the nurses have described their situation where some of them have been at home. I must add quickly.
Okay, please. I really want to hear that, but please hold it there for me. So now that we've set up the preliminary issues, let me bring in Samiaye now. And Samiaye, you are government communications. The government campaigned on a reset, and that's why they got the overwhelming mandate. What could possibly be the reason why you are a medical doctor as well? I'm sure some of the junior doctors are your colleagues. What could be the reason why people have to work for 10 months, 14 months, and they can't draw a cedi as salary from the government of Ghana that they've been working so hard for?
Yes, thank you very much. Good evening to your listeners and your viewers on Facebook. I completely empathize and sympathize with my colleagues, the junior, and even.
Hello, Sami. It appears I've lost Samiaye. We'll reconnect Samiaye, who is with government communications, to try and get some understanding of what this may be about. And in fact, the government, through both the health and education ministers, have all promised that this is matter they are going to be looking into, and in the coming days, of course, particularly when it comes to the junior doctors issue, we just don't want to get to the point where they have to withdraw their services. So if you're listening to us and you have a similar story to tell, please 055-1111-997, 055-1111-997. This is someone going through the process to be recruited into the GES. A teacher is issued an appointment letter, and Samia, I'll come to you in a minute. A teacher is issued an appointment letter and is expected to report to the school he or she has been posted to with the appointment letter and other necessary documents. The head teacher is then supposed to issue a letter of assumption of duty. In most cases, the teacher has to beg the head teacher before the assumption of duty letter is issued. The teacher is then expected to send the document himself to the district education director to create a file. This can also take weeks because the officer in charge may come to work around 9:30, go for lunch around 12:30, return around 2:30 p.m. and close for the day between 3 and 4. And that forces the teacher to return another day. After this, the teacher must carry the documents again to the regional education directorate to create another file. Another wahala that could take weeks. All these steps must be completed before staff IDs can be issued. After the IDs are issued, another process begins. Filling out IPPD forms. The officer in charge often behaves as though he or she is doing the new teacher a favor. And once the IPPD forms are completed, it can take months before they reach Accra for the controller to start processing them. By the time everything is complete, it could take up to a year. And this is a very laborious process. Samia, you were making a point and the line tripped.
Yes, can you hear me now?
Yes, loud and clear.
Yes, and good evening to everyone once more. I sympathize and empathize with each one of the junior doctors and also the nurses who have also not been paid for a number of months.
And teachers?
Yes, and teachers, yes. I have to state my personal position and also the official position. To be very honest with you, when I also started my career as a young medical doctor, I also went through the same. I was also not paid for about 9 months. And I joined my colleagues to make it clear to the government that we were not happy with it. These are systemic difficulties and bottlenecks that have lingered around for a very long time. It means that as a country, we have not done much in terms of, digitalizing our processes, hastening our processes, so that we do not create the necessary discomfort. So we do not create this unnecessary discomfort for our people. The fact must also remain that during these times, government must meet expectations of these young doctors, teachers, and nurses halfway. What I'm saying is that we're a developing country. We have a lot of cash crunch, of financial difficulties. Our financial muscles are not that strong. And so what happens is that normally government must balance between, employing these young people and payments. Government cannot necessarily say that they have to wait before they find the money before they can employ you. Other than that, people will be in the house for 5 years, 6 years, they will not get employed. So what necessarily we do is that we give the necessary, we give you appointment letter, you start to government through that process need to pay you. That is what has been the practice over the years. If I'm wrong, you can correct me. Any other person can go. We have not done much, one, in our system so that we do not create the necessary frustration for people. And also, come up. Kwaku, it will interest you to note, since we came into government, we have faced a lot of financial difficulties. You remember that just the day after His Excellency was sworn in, we were within a matter of 3 hours, an emergency meeting had to be convened to make over 200 million people to buy food. Other than that, we will be struck with. It has even happened. Even with the payment of NHIS, over 600 million of those claims have been paid and have been paid. School feeding program. You remember that when we came, in a matter of a week, about 200 million had to be released to avert feeding crisis in our schools. This is a government drumming home the issue of financial discipline and fiscal responsibility. We've even gone out to even borrow from international market water. The little we have, we are managing them in such a way that since we came, you made mention of the pharmacy students that advocated for their monies to be paid. They have not been paid over 2 years. But government of President John Dramani Mahama made necessary arrangements for them to be paid. The point I want to make is that all claims and mind legitimate claims. These are medical doctors who go a long way. They go out of their way to make sure patients are comfortable.
Yeah.
The nurses also do the same.
Yeah.
They go a long way to make sure patients and parents are comfortable. They must be paid. It is a legitimate call. So yesterday you heard that over 13,000 of them were validated. About 7,000 of them have been paid. It's left about 7,000 of Ghanaians. Government is going every extraordinary mile to make sure that payment, and I can give them the fairness assurance of His Excellency the President and the government that the monies will be paid. I know it's kept on. You know that, Kwaku, it will interest you to note that since we came, government appointees who have not been paid, as I have also not been paid. Do you know that?
9 months, I've heard. But I mean,
so and these are difficulties. Maybe financial clearance have been given, but we have systemic difficulties, controller, finance ministry, necessary arrangement, that documentation that have to be made. And so that's why I said that we have not done so much in our system to make sure that all these things are done. But I can give them the fairness assurance of His Excellency the President that necessary process will be taken, the matter will be resolved. We've heard their cry, we've heard their worries, and we are with them. There's one issue that I need to clear.
Okay, please hold it there for me briefly.
Yeah, no. This is the part I want to clear. It's just about 15 to 20 seconds.
Okay.
We saw videos, very unfortunate videos of some of these, our nurses and our sisters, hurling invectives, innuendos, and attacks on the person of the health minister.
But can you blame them? Some of them have been, imagine being hungry for 14 months.
You know, I've also not been paid for 9 months. They say,
but you say political appointees and nurses and doctors, your situations are not the same.
Don't cry. Let me be honest with you. Sometimes politicians don't cry. I cannot come and sit on your platform and cry that I've not been paid, because I know what goes on in some of these things. We are pleading with them. Their cries are legitimate. But I don't think that describing the health minister as a comedian who should team up with, Kumewood actors to give, bangers in movies and what. I don't think that it is something that we should encourage us. But I'm expecting that, Kwaku, you call them out on the matter. Let them know that this is indeed our health minister we are talking about. This is a man whom, when any issue happens, he come out to face it head on. This is a man, one of the most available ministers you can ever get. Wherever there's an issue, he drives in to resolve it. And so we must give him the necessary courtesies and respect.
Right.
Because at the very least, he's the one pushing for the payment of this money. So
done. Okay. Right. Please hold it there for me, and please don't go. I'll come back to you before we wrap it up. Sechi, does these explanations create any comfort for you? And I'll come to both the nurse and the teacher pretty shortly, because you lead a group of young people who have been demanding this. Does this give you any comfort? Is this really a governmental problem, or is just bureaucratic, the process? Because look at the process I've just read out for a young teacher. This is 6 months, and these are people you go to places where these are things perhaps you could just simply do online, a few assessments here and there. I just don't know.
Yeah, so Kwaku, let's, in the last few years, there has been a lot of conversation around digitalization. So sometimes when I hear that we are having these hiccups, I struggle to accept that this is a reality, or this is the best we can do as a country. First of all, I want to commend the health minister and his team for the work they have done so far. And I'll put this in context, because we started off with a batch, 321 of them, who had not been paid for 2 years. When he came, there was very healthy conversations between the transition team. When he came up, whatever promise he gave in terms of making sure that they are paid, he has actually redeemed that promise. So at least on that score, definitely it will be good to give him credit for that. But when it comes to this perennial issue, Kwaku, read various social media messages across the divide, whether it's teachers, whether it's nurses, doctors, allied health professionals, and then pharmacy. You realize that this has been, there are people who are giving you 30-year story of the same issue. And we know that countries are built based on the understanding of what has happened in the past, and then we develop accordingly. But if you have a country that an issue we faced 30 years ago, we are still facing it today, that's a problem. Let me propose, or let me make some recommendation. And that is the reason why I'm not particularly enthused, and our young pharmacists and health professionals and teachers are not enthused about the posturing of our stakeholders. Kwaku, strategic or proactive workforce planning means that at any time you can actually tell what you need, whether at the teaching level, whether in the hospitals. You know the number of health professionals that you need, because you already know the hospitals, the facilities you have available. So you can tell with certainty, these are the numbers of health professionals I need at post. You can just oppose it to the number the various universities are producing. And there's obviously a margin of error. At the terminal stages where these young pharmacists, doctors, nurses, and then teachers write their licensure, you know the numbers that on a normal day would pass. That is to say, if they are 100%, the numbers the schools give you. So if you even budget for the 100%, and you have people following the bell curve, you have our say 70-80% passing through, then you know with certainty the number of people who definitely have to be put on government stipend. So Kwaku, sincerely speaking, I appreciate the nuances that were given, that the previous administration, obviously, because the people have worked for 21 months, for 2 years, they were not paid. It means there was no prudent management. But I don't think that this is our reality, and we can do better. So sincerely, Dr. Ayer has given us a good insight of what the government position is, what they have done between then and now. But I think that this is sincerely not the best that we can do. Let me ask you this, Dr. Ayer or Kwaku. If you have a brother or a sister who is at home, you are not from a well-to-do family like most of us. Well, our economic situation is not good. Your parents have gone for loans just to make sure that you pass through pharmacy school or medical school, or to end up as a nurse or a teacher. And then after you are done, everyone knows that you went for a graduation, you invited people to come take pictures. And every single day after your licensure, people are asking, when are you going to work? Or even when you are going to work, you are the only one who knows that you have not been paid salary. That is why we saw that nurse weeping yesterday, because you cannot face that reality. And Kwaku, to maybe go off tangent, we make a lot of jokes, right, about young girls now on social media pursuing what now the Gen Zs will call hookup. Kwaku, there's a direct correlation. There's a direct correlation. Where do we expect the young ladies to get the monies to pay their rent? Where do we expect these young pharmacists to get monies to buy their sanitary pads and all that? How do we expect them at least to have some decent savings? So these are the reality. Now, just opposite to what is happening in other jurisdictions. The post-COVID, a lot of countries are now poaching health professionals.
Yeah.
Already we have a deficit.
And that's a big conversation, because, I mean, if you work for 14 months and you're not getting paid and you get told that another country is offering just a little bit more, I'm sure you are just going to take that. Brown, hold it up for me, because that is where we'll conclude on that point on the dangers this poses. Stephen, you've heard Dr. Samia here. Does it give you comfort? You've also heard from the ministers. They've all given you assurances, and you've told us to tell your story that you've gotten a lot of these assurances. Does all of these give you comfort that, listen, there's something about to happen on this?
So for the assurances, if I tell you they give us comfort, no. Because the assurances are vague assurances. We even demanded for specific and clear timelines as to when things are going to be done right. But these ministries are not ready to give us specific and clear timelines. So with these assurances, without a clear and binding timelines, they are vague to us and they never give us any comfort.
Teachers, do you feel the same?
Before I talk about the assurances, I also want to let Dr. Ayi understand one thing, that before his political appointment, probably he might have also been able to save some money before assuming office. So you cannot be comparing oranges to apple at this point, saying that it's legitimate though for us to do what we are doing, but we should also restrain some level of patience with the government. He has been able to save some money to cushion him in these difficult times, or probably he might have gotten someone who is well to do. Comparing himself to we the teachers who are in the hinterland, who are single parent children, who do not have, or who have our parents who are even on their sick beds, we have to finance their medical bills. He cannot compare this orange to apple. Now we also want to let you understand that for us as teachers, we are saying that the 30 days the Deputy Finance Minister told us that we should be in waiting for him to read the budget. We are saying that once it is 30 days, he will be there again. And this time when we are going there, we are not leaving there until we receive our money in our hands. It is enough for us to do all this political gimmick with the recruitment of teachers, nurses, and doctors. But it's enough for us to also realize that these are Ghanaians. These are taxpayers who are making this country better. So it is important that our politicians begin to prioritize us. Why won't I accept it if a country invites me to come outside and just come and teach? I know that I'm being paid $2,000 a month. Comparing to my Ghana cedis, I realize that I can do a lot. But these are Ghanaians who are not thinking of exodus of this country, but are willing to die for this country. Some of us are crossing rivers before we go to teach. Some of us pick motors to school a day, in and out, it's 50 cedis a day. Compare that is from our salary 20 days a week and see how much is left for us as a teacher. We are pleading with them that this gimmick will not work. But on the 30th of October, if we don't hear anything, if we don't see anything materializing, we are only letting Dr. Ayi send this signal to the government that we are expecting to see our names in our PVs, in our respective schools' PV by 17th, 18th of this month. If not, we will strike again. And this time around, we'll leave stone unturned.
Samia, before you take leave of us, are there specifics in terms of what we can all do to make sure that these things do not recur? Because of the fact that the money may not be there, the system, the bureaucratic process that a teacher or a nurse or a doctor has to go through before they're getting finally paid, it's just cumbersome.
Yes, Kwaku, and first of all, let me say that I agree with all that my colleagues have said. until we have been able to overhaul our system and remove the necessary bottlenecks, the bureaucracy that you speak of, we will still have that due to the fourth industrial revolution, where everybody is switching to digitalization, and government is in a process of digitalizing all these processes. Indeed, the Ministry of Communications, Digital Technology and Innovation has launched a national AI strategy. I believe that the use of digitalization and artificial intelligence will go a long way to remove all these bureaucracy and bottlenecks for all of us to benefit from. I need to also stress that I think my brother did not listen to me. I'm saying that even before the NDC government came into power, I started working as a young medical doctor, even when we were in opposition. I was also in this same situation for about 9 months. And so I understand and feel the same way, or I felt the same way they are feeling. And that's why I'm saying that I empathize and sympathize with them. The NDC government is a listening government. But we remember that when we came, national service allowances was in arrears for about 3 to 4 months. What did we do? We cleared all of them. The finance minister actually regularized the payment of allowances so that it will not be in arrears. Now you cannot. They receive their allowances almost every month, just like other salaried workers do. So I'm saying that the government has said them, health ministry has said them, finance ministry has said them, all of us. The excellency, the president has also heard them. Necessary measures will be taken to address their plan. You know, that's how some of these issues happen even 7 months before the NDC won election. The doctors were like this. I am aware that it's been about 14 months. That was about May 2024. You understand the point? So it's happened 7 months before the NDC won. My question is, between that time, even though they took steps, we didn't really hear much the way we are hearing it now. But I believe that it is in good faith. Our government, we do not discriminate. We do not care whether it was done from another government or not. The people voted for us. We will take responsibility and we will act upon it.
Thank you very much, Dr. Samir. Thank you very much for joining us for this conversation. As we begin to wrap up, and Dr. Samir can take all of us. Yes, I'm coming to you on that brain drain aspect that you raised and the issues thereof, and any responses that you think you want to raise.
Yeah, Kwaku, I think before, just to share with Dr. Aye, because he's been with us before and he understands the reality. I think timelines are critical, as my other colleagues have shared. As we speak, we are anticipating that the Minister of Finance will deliver the next budget somewhere in November. You know, there have been instances where you have promises and the financial clearance is hinged on the fact that there's a line item that makes money available for the payment of the respective health professionals and our brothers in the education sector. We don't have any surprises, and that is why our colleagues are saying that the assurances we've had, but we will only want to see concrete steps that at the end of November, when the budget has been read, there's clarity that indeed going forward, this is the budgetary line item that has been allotted for the payment of the various health workforce, including pharmacists. And sometimes, not sometimes, in most instances, pharmacists are an afterthought when it comes to government processes, which is why you realize that in the last 11 years, the government has only done two recruitments. As of 2020, the last time a recruitment was done, it was in 2020, and that was only 300 pharmacists. As we speak, we have a gap of more than 3,000 if we really want to make sure that the health sector is standing on its 2 feet. The pharmacist is the one that when you go to the hospital, that sibling, that friend who has cancer, the pharmacist will ensure that they put the medicines in the right form for the patient to be administered to the patient. You go to places like the Tamale Teaching Hospital, they are doing so well when it comes to intervention. Same in Kolebu, the pharmacists are the ones who are running the various HIV clinics. When it comes to those who have asthma, it's the same people who ensure that the drugs are there, to ensure that your child who comes on admission also has the right medication available. We are also on the wards. We go on ward rounds. In fact, wherever you have a team of doctors and a team of nurses, pharmacists are supposed to be part. But Kwaku, we have become so used to, so accustomed to the fact that, the system is working. But the negligence cases that are coming up these days, one of the questions the Ghanaian patient should be asking is, why is the pharmacist not available? Why is the ministry refusing to recruit pharmacists? Those are the core issues. Then when we look at the issue about traveling out of the country, Kwaku, as we speak, last year, as at early November last year, I had written almost 62 recommendation letters for young pharmacists who want to leave the country because they are not seeing a future here. I'm sure the same will pertain with the nurses, to the extent that for the nurses, we realized at some point the fee for clearance and certain things were increased so as to some to dissuade certain people from leaving the country and all that. Of course, that's debatable, but you can see a pattern. You can see a pattern, Kwaku, and this is not good.
It is not. It's a very valid point that you make there. And Eugene Zoranu, listen, your anger is righteous. Stephen Kweju Techia, your anger is righteous. And Stephen is the convener of coalition of unpaid nurses and midwives. Stephen, your anger is righteous. Very justified. I can't imagine myself working in any environment for even 2 months without getting paid. How am I surviving? I'm not going to do it. And you guys still turn up every day with all the lack of the facilities and everything, the hazards of the job, you still show up. Eugene, you like you said, some of you are crossing rivers and other things to get to work. You are paying so much to go out there and serve your country, and in part, you're not getting paid what is due you. So your anger is justified, and I think every well-intentioned Ghanaian agrees with you and definitely supports the causes that you're embarking on. Thank you very much, Eugene Zeranu. Thank you very much, Stephen Kweju Techia, for joining. And Sechi Brown Reginald, as always, really impacting analysis that you bring to matters of this nature. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dr. Samiaye, for also joining. And we were supposed to be joined by Dr. Louise Nkrumah, President of the Junior Doctor Association. She couldn't join because of certain emergencies. This one from Nana, listening in Spain Tech Road, says, Kwaku, good evening. We must first ask the previous government why recruiting workers when they knew they were on their way out and had no budget for salary. Why do politicians play lottery with workers' lives? Nana from Spinter Show, thank you for that. Francis in Accra says, hi, Kwaku. Please ask them if they know all those recruitment that were done in last year, December to the election, were political recruitment, fraud with corruption, as we saw in the NSS to make the government look good and perhaps get their votes. Hope they should know this is a governance and systemic problem, and GM is going to fix all of that, you see. Thank you very much, Francis. This one says, good evening, Joy FM. You don't add your name. I believe some of the perks and allowances that public sector executives enjoy are simply mind-blowing. Take, for instance, the benefits given to the CEO of SNIT. Just the entertainment allowance alone could make significant contribution if redirected to more pressing national need. How can a country with such limited resources afford to pay these enormous sums to few individuals? Thank you. This one is from Frank. He says, their condition of service is not new. I was employed in GES in 1977. I received my first salary in June of 1979. Wow, Frank. Thanks for your message. This one says, they keep complaining of inherited debts, but there was money to pay ministers and MPs. They inherited debts as well as money. So they should do the needful and stop these lengthy blame games. You say that. And this last one says, hello, sir. I'm a newly posted teacher from Kumasi, working in Okwankwe, not Municipal Accra. I've been working for 9 to 10 months now without receiving my staff ID. As a matter of two, life has become very difficult. Feeding my family, paying rent, and transportation have all become a heavy burden. I'm in deep debt and struggling every day, hoping for change. Please, I'm humbly pleading for your help so we get paid. Newly posted university graduates can also get our staff IDs. We need your support. Thank you very much, madam. And we really hope that the government pays you what is due you. This is not something that we can tolerate. And, you have to get ready. Accra and Kumasi, the event of a lifetime is coming your way. And it's one that you don't want to miss. Mark your calendars because the QS Study Abroad Fair is headed to Accra and Kumasi and is bringing the world to your doorstep. an exclusive opportunity to discover top-notch universities, exciting study programs, and your passport to global education. Join us at the QS Study Abroad Fair at Accra, Marriott Hotel, and Kumasi at Lancaster Hotel, where dreams take flight and academic horizons expand. This isn't just any fair. It is your gateway to a world-class education. We've got representatives from prestigious institutions, study abroad, expert counselors, and a lot of resources to guide you on your international journey. But that is not all. Attendees will enjoy exclusive insights into application processes, tuition discount opportunities, and post-study work options. Do you dream of studying in the UK, US, Canada, Australia, and Europe and beyond? Join us at the QS Study Abroad Fair at Accra Marriott Hotel on Accra Marriott Hotel on Saturday, 4th October 2025, starting 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. and Kumasi at Lancaster Hotel on the 6th of October 2025, starting at 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. The entry is free. Save the date, Saturday, October 4th to October 4th, 2025 at 11 a.m. Accra Marriott Hotel, and then Monday, October 6th, 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. Kumasi Lancaster Hotel. Admission is free, but the opportunities are priceless. Don't let this chance pass you by. Tomorrow, Samson Ladi Anyadini and the team, as always, the Galamsey Menace. How will the fight define Mohammed's presidency? Then Imani, OSP, and Gold and GFO. Imani reports 7 billion leakage. OSP cages the frontman. All of that with the venerable Samson Ladi Anyadini on Newsfile tomorrow at 9 a.m. on the News Channel. My name is Kwaku Asante. I'll see you again, same time next week.